I think we can all agree that 2020 has been a year that none of us expected for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different ways. Things have changed a lot, especially in the world of sneakers. But one thing that remained consistent across the entire year in the world of sneakers here are really bad sneaker releases. You guys know what I'm talking about. Think about any release where you as a consumer felt like you had no shot to actually get the sneaker you wanted at retail price when it dropped. I can think of so many instances of really bad releases that occurred for sneakers across the entire year. And in this video, I want to outline the top 5. So this isn't going to be a video rating or discussing how good or bad individual sneakers are. I'm literally only talking about how the shoes were released. So I think you'll start understanding as we dive in here. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and let's dive in. So we're going to get it started here with number 5 on the list. Actually, one of my favorite releases of the year, but a release that drove me absolutely insane. This is the Jordan 1 Moca. I think we can all agree that this is a really nice looking sneaker. And first, I want to frame this whole conversation here with looking at the resale prices. We can see that currently still it's at least a $400 sneaker in almost every single size. And the demand on this shoe and this release just insanely outweighed the supply of the sneakers. It also felt like literally every single retailer possible that exists in the United States that could have gotten this shoe did get this shoe. But it seemed like every retailer that did get it only got like 1 or 2 size runs, so it was still just really hard to actually get the shoe. The highlight of the release for why it was so bad though was because of the Foot Locker reservation process. I think literally every single Foot Locker in the United States got this sneaker, at least, 1 size run, maybe 2 size runs. Not a lot of pairs out there per store. But the way that Foot Locker reserves the sneakers is via their app. You guys may be familiar with this. The app crashed for hours on the night when their winners were supposed to be revealed, and it just was dead for hours. It didn't work. And then by the time you actually saw your reservation, whether you got it or not, it just seemed like everybody took an L. And then in the morning, when you get ready to go and try online was just impossible. Sneakers is always a toss-up. Every retailer that did get them online sold out immediately, and it just felt like there were no pairs of these available, when I know there were tons and tons of these things. I was able to get my pair, but I know a lot of people who missed out, and a lot of people who still want this shoe, and clearly explained by the resale prices that the demand is still there. But you probably know what I'm talking about, and leave a comment if you feel the same way. But I feel like that release was just so bad because the demand was way too high on this sneaker and the supply was nowhere near that. Number 4 on this list was one of the most anticipated releases of the entire year. It was the Air Jordan 1 Dior, both the Jordan 1 High and the Jordan 1 Low. This was a release that felt completely unattainable, not only by the high retail prices on the sneaker, but just the question of how do you even buy these things? Can a regular person even buy this? Do you have to be a VIP with Dior? Do you have to do something crazy? Nobody knew any information, and it seemed really uncertain about how the sneakers would release. So number 1, the first problem there was the transparency and communication. It felt so strange to have no idea how these sneakers were going to release for the longest time. And finally, when the release did happen, I do feel like they did it in a decent way, but they put out an online raffle where you would be, possibly selected to go purchase it in a store. But it happened randomly one morning, super early in the morning when that raffle went out. The raffle, I wasn't even sure if it was real. You couldn't even tell exactly where it came from. It was hard to find the lineage between where Dior might have posted it. And it just felt like it came and went. And if you missed it, the raffle was over. You had no other shot to get the shoe. They didn't release them in stores. It was only that raffle. And you had to wait some period of time after that where people just randomly started getting emails in various different ways saying that they got, the release. They were able to go pick it up at a certain store that they reserved it at. It just felt near impossible. I'm sure you guys can agree, but that was a sneaker I was at least excited to have a shot to try and pick up. I did enter that raffle, but I lost just like many of you guys, and it just felt so strange to have really no idea how we could possibly get this sneaker. It came and went, and resale prices are still astronomical on the sneaker. But that was another one that drove me crazy. Number 3 on this list is a really crazy one, especially given the timeline since the actual release of this sneaker. But number 3 is the Adidas Yeezy Quantum and the Adidas Yeezy Quantum basketball. The very first colorway of this sneaker released during All-Star Weekend, and I'm really only talking about this specific release because we know what has happened to the Quantum since then. But if we backtrack to All-Star Weekend, the Quantum released at only maybe less than 5 stores in the United States, only in Chicago for All-Star Weekend in an insanely limited number of pairs. And this sneaker had been rumored for years at this point. Everybody had seen the teaser pictures. Kanye kind of teased them and, talked about them, saying that a basketball Yeezy was coming. It's going to be this great thing. Everybody was really excited. And when they go and release it, they only make it available in Chicago in a really, really limited run. So it left everybody so unsure about how to actually get this shoe, and then faced with a crazy resale price if you actually did want to get it. At the time, because it was so limited, resale prices were up near $1,000. I think it's pretty funny at this point because now the Quantum, actually in that same exact colorway, did re-release later in the year, and now you can pick it up for almost that retail price, as well as several other colors of the Quantum, which seems like the demand was just not there on the sneaker, where it feels like no one really wants them at the moment, even though they're still a pretty solid shoe in my opinion. But the original release just seemed like they fumbled it so poorly, where everybody who wanted it had absolutely no shot to get it unless you were in Chicago. So that one felt like a dropped bag in my opinion too, where the Quantum, with as hyped as it was, just went so unattainable. Number 2 on this list is one you may have been anticipating, but it's the Nike SB Dunk Low Chunky Dunky. At the time of release and the weeks leading up to it, it felt like every single person on the planet wanted this sneaker. This sneaker was going to be a really hard one to pick up. I think a lot of people could tell that right out of the gate, but exactly how hard it was to get at retail was something that no one could have guessed. This thing was near impossible to get on release day for retail price because they made it so limited. The distribution was through skate shops and realistically only the Nike sneakers app. So essentially that left everybody to try on sneakers. I remember on sneakers, a bunch of people had issues with even being able to enter on the app. And the amount of pairs that they had was just so limited, and left so many people just sad and disappointed that they couldn't get their, Ben & Jerry's sneakers. People of all ages wanted to pick up this thing to at least check it out. I was in the same boat. I just wanted to see this thing because it looked so cool and interesting, and I mean, who doesn't like Ben & Jerry's ice cream? But this one just felt like so hard to actually get. I remember seeing that skate shops only had like single-digit numbers of pairs. Skate shops did nationwide raffles for like 10 pairs, so the odds of actually getting them were just so astronomically low that the release didn't even feel real because you really didn't even have that many actual chances to try and get this shoe. It was just so sad and disappointing to not even really have a real chance to get the shoe other than sneakers, that it just came and went. Resale prices hit over $1,000, and that's how it went. Like, it's crazy to see. We can check the resale prices now, and prices are still astronomically high for one of the really cool sneakers that came out this year. But that was another one that just felt so sad after checking it out and having such high hopes to at least get a shot at getting the sneaker, where it didn't pan out like that at all. And number 1, rounding it out with the absolute worst release procedure for a sneaker in 2020, especially given everything that's happened with it, but does have a lot of potential moving into 2021, was the Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner. This thing came and went in the blink of an eye, and if you missed it, you had no idea it even happened. This sneaker released on the day, it was the #WestDayEver. It was the one where Kanye announced his formal partnership with The Gap, something I am really excited about. I do like the idea and notion that all of this is going towards, but the actual release of this foam runner just felt so sad and disappointing again because it just came and went. The sneaker only released on Yeezy Supply. The retail price was really low. It sold out immediately. It felt like that they were going to have a lot of pairs or restock them or make other colorways or do something different, because Kanye has even said that it's a foam sneaker. They can make it really quickly in the United States, and it's a shoe that he wants to have available for everybody. I've seen rumors that it could be something that is included in the Gap collection that comes out at some point. But if we take a look at resale prices now, I knew they were going up. I hadn't checked them in a while, but I just checked earlier today, and prices are near like $600 for this thing. I did get a friend's pair of this to check out for a review, and to be honest, I really don't like this shoe at all. It's decently cool to check out and see, and it's, comfortable to a degree. I don't think it's worth $600 at all, but people are literally paying that. That's what the current resale prices are. But there was just no way to actually get this shoe. It released on Yeezy Supply. I saw people who maybe tried with bots or whatever were able to get through, but the release just sold out really quickly. It was in the middle of the day. It was just a random release, a one-time thing that across the entire year has not come out again, and it was gone. For a sneaker as strange as I'll call it, for the Yeezy Foam Runner. I know a lot of people feel certain ways about it. A lot of people really like it. A lot of people don't. But whatever the case, it was just a shoe that, again, felt non-existent. But now I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about your potential worst experiences trying to pick up a sneaker across 2020, because I think there's a lot, way more than just these 5 that I talked about. But I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of fun little year-ending video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys again real soon on the next video.